Hey, in regards to my eyes and my neck and tensing up when I look at screens, I think what happened was originally um, my neck, I damaged my neck throughout my life, but then I hurt my neck helping my grandmother, and then I further hurt it when I was sitting at the computer. I was like trying to focus on some minute architectural design detail that was really small, and I'm like tensing up my neck while I'm trying to like get 2 points to meet in a computer program, and I'm long hours at the computer. And usually I was sitting back against my seat, but I was focused on this thing and I was leaning forward, and so the posture was bad, and I felt a tear, and then I felt my head shift forward, and and it was very scary because I was already like I could barely use my neck. And this is like before I became bedbound. This is what happened, and then so that happened, and then um, the tinnitus increased because my internal jugular veins were both compressed more significantly, and I was super scared. And then what happened was, when using my phone the next time and when using my computer the next time, I associated that with something that would damage my neck. I think I would have recovered if I had just not been afraid or stopped using the computer altogether and just rested and focused on physical therapy. I still would have been fucked up. I still would have needed like stem cell PICL and posterior injections because I had already needed that before I had this happen. And but I could have not been so bad not spent a year in bed. But I was tensing up my neck and very severely because I was seriously afraid, and but I kept trying to use the computer anyway, and I kept tensing up my neck, and then I would rest, and I would try to use the computer again. I would tense up my neck, and I couldn't figure out how to not tense up my neck every time. And then it got worse. And then of course that caused more pain, which caused more of a pain association with using screens and computers and tensing up my neck. So then I did it even more, and to the point where I just couldn't use a computer or cell phone at all. But by that point, I was already bedbound, and so that really aggravated. Like when I was tensing up the muscles in my neck, not like the big ones, but the ones that run down your spine, that are there for stabilizing your neck. Like not the big traps and like scalenes, but like the ones that are run all the way the length of your spine. They're attached to um, the smaller ones attached to the bones. I guess they're all attached to the bones, but smaller ones, they run along the spine. Those were burning and exhausted, and when those became exhausted and burning, and then even more strain was put on my ligaments because now those muscles couldn't hold up my neck. So more strain was put on my ligaments, which were already damaged, and then my neck just went to shit. Then I had other neurological symptoms, like I had severe vertigo, and I had chest palpitations, chest pains, dizziness, and like the high pitched tinnitus you get when you have brainstem compression or something pushing on nerves. Like you turn your head a certain way and it's like ee, like that kind of thing. Like I would get that, and it was hell. And it was very difficult to hold my head up because those muscles were exhausted and those tendons were exhausted, and then the ligaments had even more damage. So yeah, that's what kind of that was the domino effect of it. So, but I've been telling myself, like when I look at screens now, when I lay down, that like I'm safe. It's okay. Because like right now, I'm looking at a screen. I'm laying down. There's nothing I'm doing that's should be hurting my neck. I guess like trying to tilt my head and like a little bit. I'm using my neck a little bit, but for the most part, it should be a good position for my neck to be in. Um, Talking while laying down is a little hard because you have to enunciate. You have to kind of like keep tilting your head, which works the muscles back here around a little bit. So I try not to do that too much. Uh, but So I just keep telling myself it's safe, you're safe, you're safe. But if I can't stop tensing up, I just stop, and I'll try again later. So I'm never like tensing up my neck for a long period of time, or and injuring myself. Same with using the computer, same with doing the dishes. I just tell myself anytime where I'm tensing up my neck, because it's not helpful, it only hurts. It's like I'm afraid of damaging my neck, so I tense up the muscle, and then I'm destroying the muscle and the tendons, which is obviously bad. So I think that's what caused all my that's what really pushed me over the edge. But I mean, I had severe problems. Like I had a severe injury, like back in 2021 when I just had tinnitus. They looked at my C1, and my C1 was like 30 degrees shifted and like 18 degrees rotated, and it was the worst like eight chiropractors that I've ever seen. So obviously I had severe trauma in my neck from like banging my head on stuff, playing sports, getting tackled, stuff like that. Like, and then it's long hours at the computer, neck atrophy. So and then also Lyme disease and Bartonella, and like lifting heavy things with bad posture and all that stuff. So all that stuff had happened before, but this was like the thing that just really made me bedbound. And then also I didn't know how to exercise my neck. Now I know how to exercise my neck and how to rest my neck. Like rest, take vitamin C every couple hours, take copper once a day, 1 milligram. Yeah, I'm gonna stand up just because I have to keep moving my head. My neck's already tired from doing a bunch of stuff. So I have to keep like doing that because if I don't, then I'm just like I can't like talk when I'm laying down. So anyway, so that's what I'm going. I'm trying antidepressants. I'm gonna try new like Cymbalta to try to also help with anxiety. So I have a severe amount of anxiety being alone all the time. But just being afraid of my neck, being afraid of use it, like trying to lean over to write something down, being afraid, and just telling myself like it's okay, you're safe, you're safe, you're safe. Trying to talk myself out of tensing my neck up because that's a big problem. And then obviously continue to do the neck exercises and keep asking for money to get stem cells to get more. Um, the the neck harness has been a godsend. The pulley system I have here has been amazing. Like this thing I put up here, so I got just a 2.5 pound weight. I know a lot of people like they freak out when I talk about weights, but it's like it's not bad. Weights aren't automatically bad for your neck. It's very silly to think that way. Like if I use the when I use the what you call it, the exercise bands, or like freaking these things. If I do like these things, or I'm on my head and do some gentle neck exercises, or if I'm pushing on my head for resistance, or if I'm just using the weight of my head for resistance, or if I'm using the tether for the iron neck, which is a stretchy thing where I'm pulling my head around, like all of that is weightlifting, and everyone's fine with all that. But if I use an actual like metal plate for resistance, then people are like, "Oh no, you're gonna hurt yourself." It's like, no, guys, like weightlifting is the best way to get stronger because, like this thing here, when you pull this thing, no matter how far away you are from this, like I'm moving away, it's always 2.5 pounds. With a tether, the weight changes, it varies, which is more dangerous for your neck. So you're going to get more likely to get injured. So like every physical therapist for the neck should be using a pulley system like that with weights, like and one of these for strengthening your neck. Like you put that around your head. There's weights on it. You pull your head up and down like that. Really strengthen your neck. It's really really good for strengthening your neck. And I started off. I started off with just 2.5 pounds, which when your head weighs 10 pounds, that's not a lot. When you do it, it's like, huh, like, when I was doing it, I was like, I started off with three. I was like 1, 2, 3, and then I waited 5 days, and then I did four, and then I waited 5 days or 4 days, and then I did, so I slowly worked my way up carefully, and I was okay. And now I'm doing 5 sets of 20 with 7 pounds, and it doesn't feel like anything. So it's like you can work your way up with weights and become very, very strong. Now, if I went to a standard physical therapist, or if I followed what people say in CCI groups on Facebook, everyone would be like, "Oh no, you can't do that. You're gonna hurt yourself." It's like, well, you guys don't care if I use all elastic bands or push on my head or push this way. Like if I push like this on my head and I'm resisting it all the way through, that's more than 2.5 pounds of pressure. Like 2.5 pounds is not much. Like you can literally curl 2.5 pounds with your pinky finger. It's not hard. But if your neck was very sensitive and you're like, man, I could barely do it with no weight, or I can pull barely, if like you can get to a point where you could barely do anything, and I'd say, okay, try half a pound. Try with no weight. Just do your head like this a couple times. Like I was telling my friend Mike, I was like, do your chin to your chest, because he's got CCI. It's bad. He did have PICO. But he's like doesn't exercise well. I'm like, just take your chin to your chest a couple times and wait a couple days, like 2 days, you know. So, but my neck is still significantly weak. Like I can feel it now. Like I'm exhausted just from making myself food today, and then I went on a short bike ride, and now I'm just like, Jesus Christ. It's getting to the point where like I can barely hold my head up now. Like you can just feel them, and when that happens, you gotta rest. So that's why I was in bed. So, but yeah, so that's how I got injured, and that's how I'm getting stronger again. I still would be greatly helped by regenerative therapy. So if you can help donate to my GoFundMe, it significantly helped me the first time. I wouldn't have been able to do so much with weights without it. Um, but yeah, you can use weights. They're fine. Uh, Weights can hurt you. Pushing on your head like this can hurt you. Tether can hurt you. Elastic bands can hurt you. If you do anything at all, you can overdo it and get hurt, which includes weights. But you can also do weights in such a way that they are safe. You do not have to do them intensely. And physical therapists all over the world use weights. So it's okay. Like I think people with instability of their neck and problems with their neck are scared of weights. It's like you can do lightweight. Um, it's fine. Like, I mean, if you lift your arm up, you're lifting a weight. Your arm weighs something. So you can move your body. It's not super dangerous. Just, you know, if you have a shoulder injury, move your arm carefully. Don't wang it around. you know, don't do 100 push-ups. Just take it easy and work your way up. So you should be working at such a pace where the progress you make isn't exciting, because you're like, okay, I did one more rep. Well, who cares? Like, you should never even be excited. That's the pace you should move at. I'm never excited because it's so slow. But I never get hurt either. At least I have been hurt before, but it has been in times where I'm like I get impatient and I overdo it. But when I'm patient, I don't get hurt. So